Yes, you can start, Ma.
Good morning, everyone. You cannot hope to build a better world without improving the individual. By Marie Curie. On behalf of IQAZ and Women's Health, I am Madhumita from Taking BSc Biochemistry. Welcome you all for today's webinar on the topic Women's Health and Lifestyle Management on account of International Day of Women and Girls in Science. Over the past decade, the global community has made a lot of effort in inspiring and engaging women and girls in science. Yet, women and girls continue to be excluded from participating fully in science. Now, let's start today's webinar by prayer. Every great moment of God can be traced to a healing figure. Now we have a college choir for prayer song.
College prayer. College prayer. College prayer. College prayer. College prayer on.
Good morning. Ramesh Andara. Ramesh Conference meeting இருக்கா meeting என்ன இருக்கா இப்போ எதுவும் போகல இல்ல ஃப்ரீயா தானே இருக்கு இப்போ ரூம் ஃப்ரீயா தானே இருக்கு ஓகே நான் கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் ரமேஷ் அந்த சொல்லுங்க கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்
Thank you, college choir. A ray of light is a ray of hope. Let's all leave the darkness and step towards the bright path. With that being said, I would like to call upon Mrs. K. Meena, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry and Women's Health Coordinator to deliver the welcome address and chief guest introduction.
We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and this is the thing must be attained. Marie Curie. Science and everyday life cannot and should not be separated, said by Rosalind Franklin. Today, February 11th is celebrated as International Day of Women and Girls in Science. On account of that, I would like to present a video of some of the famous women scientists who contributed their dedication to this world through their invention. Here it goes. My video. Sir, mute.
Is there a problem in internet connectivity we are waiting for?
Meena, you continue with the program, Meena. Meena, we can go ahead with the other program.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Return to me. Yes. No. 1 second. Yes. 1 second, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually,
No.
stop.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Just, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can see. Yeah.
So these are some of the famous signs. It's ma'am. It's seeing there, ma'am.
Yeah, we are able to see, but I'm not able to hear anything. If there is.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay, ma'am. So good morning, everyone. On behalf of IQAC and Women's Cell of our college, I'm extremely very happy to welcome our chairman, Dr. N.R. Thanapalan sir, secretary, Secretary, Mr. N.R.D. Prem Kumar sir, Joint Secretary, Dr. P.R. Premchand sir, Principal, Dr. Anita Ebensi ma'am, Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator, Mrs. Jofia Solomon, heads, faculty members, and my dear students of Annai Violet Arts and Science College, and also other participants for today's webinar session on the topic Women's Health and Lifestyle Management. It's my privilege to welcome and introduce an eminent personality for today's session, Dr. Aruna Ashok, Clinical Director of A4 Fertility Center and Hospital, Chennai. Ma'am has completed her medicine at Kilpak Medical College and MSOG at Jipmer, Pondicherry. She has done infertility training program in reproductive medicine of Sri Ramachandra Medical Institute and has 12 years of experience in the field of fertility. Her special interest in endoscopic surgeries, improving the success rates in IVF failure couples. She won gold medal in medicine, OG, and also obtained gold medal in OG in Jipmer Institute by Pondicherry University. She is a Foxy quiz winner and also she's a speaker and presented many papers in international conferences. She has guided for fellowship course in fertility for 3 years. It's such a privilege to have you amongst us, ma'am. Thank you for coming. Once again, I welcome each one of you for this informative session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If your nation leaders are made, they are not born. They are made by art effort. Now I request our Vice Principal Ma'am and IQAC Coordinator, Mrs. Jofia Solomon, to address the gathering.
A pleasant morning to all who are connected virtually. I think I thank and welcome our chief guest for today, Dr. Aruna Ashok. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. I think she is the right person for today's program since she has been or she is seeing on live women who come to her with health issues, and how they have the attitude that these South Indian women have on health, and also how much of time we spend for health. So I think she will be able to understand and give us a preview of what it is to take care of ourselves. So thank you, Meena and the team, for welcoming or inviting the right person, Dr. Aruna Ashok, for today's program. I don't want to take much time because we have the more eminent person today to speak on the topic. But I would like to share my point of view. Like it is no secret that women in today's world face unique problems or a unique set of difficulties, obstacles, and disparities in the society in different scenarios. And we do have these issues, but all of us are much more concerned about our beauty tips and other things outwardly, but inwardly women have a lot of transformations happening every second, every minute. And so as women, we need to take care of our health and manage time to take care of ourselves. So that's what lacks in women in the Indian society. That's what I feel, because we are much more concerned about the family members. We are much more concerned about the other things that are there pertaining to our living, rather than taking care of ourselves. So I would say that if one woman takes care of her health, the whole family will be healthy. So healthy women is what a healthy family can have. So with this, I don't want to take much time. We have to give more importance to our health, take time to take care of ourselves, so that we have a healthy society. And because there's one quote very beautifully which says, the true beauty of woman is in health, is in her health, in her ability to be active. We do see many people, many women achieving achieving their goals or their dreams, and coming up in life nowadays. There are open doors for women, but now we are not taking much care about our health. And this present pandemic situation, I know women are facing a lot of difficulties, like online classes or online teaching and other things. But yet, hats off to all the doctors who have been striving 24/7 to take care of this situation and saving many lives. So thank you, Dr. Aruna, for your yeoman service to this society, and welcome you again for this program. I hope the present women will take these tips of taking care of their health, wherewith we can take care of the society also. So thank you. All the best to the team. Thank you once again to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and become more, you are a leader, says John Adams. Now I request our chief guest, Dr. Aruna Ashok, fertility consultant, clinical director of A4 Fertility Center and Hospital, to take over the session.
Thank you for a very nice introduction to the professors and vice president. You had thank you for the management for giving us the opportunity, because in our daily practice we always see the problems, and preventive medicine is still it's only heard and is not done in developing countries. India should soon become a developed country, so we should practice preventive medicine. So more and more of health education to females, health education improves the preventive health practice. So what is preventive health? I think there is no explanation needed. Before the problem happens, we wanted to find out what has happened, prevent a problem. So in the present era, preventive health medicine has been opportunity only for a particular group of elite population who are already in a wealthy situation. It's not offered to everybody. I think every other citizen of India, every other male or female should get preventive medicine into their health practices, so that we can avoid lots of issues and lots of economy spent on health problems. I again thank the management for choosing this topic and making a doctor talk on this topic. So let me move into the session directly. So I would have loved to be there directly and talk to all the girls directly and interact with them. And I would have felt as if I would become younger and the dynamic crowd around us. But really missing all those opportunities. Anyway, I'm sitting in front of a computer and talking. Hopefully, you will be entertaining this session by asking me more questions. I would love to answer all the questions rather than teaching you what is correct. It is like then it becomes a theory session. I just talk to you and you have to talk to me through your chat box so that we can have more questions to answer and more interaction. So let me introduce what is women's health. So whenever a woman is asked about health, so we talk about weight. So there is weight management for every other person. I feel some people are over conscious about weight and they wanted to make a zero weight calculation. So they wanted to be like a Miss India always. So they want to be underweight, slim, thin, seeing the advertisements. And another group of people lose the threshold and tell, I'm not bothered whatever others tell. I just wanted to eat and become obese. Both are not good. So you have to be healthy. So the weight which allows you to work well, allows you to maintain your metabolism well is the ideal weight. So you need not be underweight, you need not be overweight, you have to be correct in weight. The next is menstrual irregularities. I think every other female, once they attain the menarche, feel that they are being stressed out in the life. When compared to a male, I have menses happening every month. I have pain during menses. I have to be taking rest during that time. I have lots of issues. That segregation from the common population happens. And that's where, when the education is given in right time, you will be able to manage this issue by your own health practices, or you will be needing a person or a doctor to help you in certain situations. Another common problem for young girls, that is mispopulation. You are all, I think, first year or second year students of BSc in biology or a biochemistry. So I think so you will be facing all these issues. So another thing is white discharge per vagina, which is a very common issue. Everybody comes. So you really don't know. Some girls don't know whether it is normal to have or not abnormal to have. And I think unsafe sexual practices, it is to be taught in a very healthy way, and we have to open our talk. I have been called in the school forum to talk about sexual practices. So I think we have to talk it out. Only a doctor can talk it out in a very scientific way and understandable way. So you can ask the questions also. And we have a private mail session, and if you want doubts which has to be clarified later, you can always contact, and we'll be giving a YouTube channel, or in the website you can just post the comments, then we'll be able to give you the reply also. And other medical conditions, not only menstruation, white discharge, and all those which is concerned with females, whatever problems a male can have, that also female can have. And prevention of cancer in later life. So when somebody in the neighborhood develops cancer, then the next house, everybody comes for a screening. So that is not the way that we has to be done. It has to be done in a regular practice. Though our economy is not, in Indian economy, it is not made as a mandatory rule by government, but there are two categories. People who approach the government hospitals, the government has given a beautiful protocol to screen all the patients with cancer. But one group only goes to the government hospitals. The other group is a very elite population, or a very sincere population, who go for a checkup every year. There is a group in between who don't go to the government hospital, who don't go to the master health checkup also. They just routinely take care of your health, and only when there is a problem, then they come and approach the doctor. So that by the time it will be late. Though it is very rare, it is very rare disease, but it is not a very pleasing disease, and it's not a treatable, completely curable disease. So you have to be very careful, and you should be knowing about all these issues, is what I thought. But if you have any other new questions or any other health issues or anything in women, you can ask us. We are completely dealing almost for 12 years after my post-graduation. But if I take my post-graduation also, 15 years now, always with females around us, and the whole hospital is female staffs. Hardly one or two male staffs are there. So you can ask any questions pertaining to the health. Now, how will we calculate body mass index? So everybody at least know your own body mass index. So if we ask girls who get married and then come to us with a pregnancy, I ask them, what is your BMI? They don't know. So what is your weight divided by height square is the BMI. There is lots of apps also available for that, but if you have a calculator, you can do it. So at least monthly once check your weight and height. I don't think so. Monthly once you have to check. Once you check it, by this time you all would have attained the height that is needed. So just know your height and know your weight. That's how we realize ourselves. Monthly once checking a weight is very, very important to know how we are healthy or not. Sometimes we might lose weight, sometimes we might be gaining weight, and suddenly girls come and tell me, last 2 years I have gained so much, doctor, I don't know how I gained. It would have happened over the months only. If you have not checked it for a monthly basis, it is very, very important that you lost all your crucial time. And if you are on a weight loss program, then you have to check it every week. Every week you have to check your BMI. Next, coming to this, what is the cutoff of BMI? The BMI can be underweight. If you are less than 18, you call it as underweight. This is for Asian Indians residing in India. The BMI is taken in a different way for a European or a Western population. So in Indian population, a normal BMI is 18.5 to 22.9, and overweight is 23 to 24, and obesity is more than 25. So I don't know how many of you are obese nowadays, but we can see so many girls coming to us really very late in life, and they tell me that from childhood I'm like this, doctor. And sometimes underweight girls also tell me that from childhood I'm like this. But by the time from childhood, many a times undernutrition or overnutrition happens. But when you reach a teenage and the adult stage, I think all of you are adults now. So you have to reach the normal BMI. At least try to reach the normal BMI. Let's say efforts be towards a normal BMI. So next is irregular menses. So menstruation is a physiological process. So when the regular menstruation happens, then we know that the ovary is working normally. So if there is irregular menstruation, sometimes we see girls coming to us after 6 months of no menstruation. I thought it will come, doctor, on its own. I don't want to use medicines artificially and get the menses. So by the time they come to us, it will be a very thick endometrium, and we give tablets for them to have a menstruation. They will have bleeding usually for 15 to 20 days also, because so much has got accumulated inside the uterus. For it to come out, it takes lots of time. So it's very important that you know which is regular. So now you can see here, you should maintain a menstrual calendar. With all your Android phones that you have, first you download a BMI calculator app, and then enter your weight systematically in that, so that you have a record of your weight and then your menstruation dates. It's not only you have to note your menstruation dates after your pregnancy to plan a fertility. That's the time I think most of the girls start noting their menstruation dates. But some people don't even note at that time. But once the menses happens, the menarche happens, you all are going to become future moms. So the education begins here. So once the menarche happens, you should be having a note of when the menses is starting. How to calculate? It is not from the end date, it is from the start date. So if your menses is happening on January 1st, then it is January 28th that you are expecting the next menstrual cycle to happen. It is 28-day cycle, but everybody doesn't get it at 28 days. Sometimes it is as less as 21, or it can be as high as 35. It can be because of the foods that you eat or stress that you have. But if it is less than 21 or more than 35, you have to meet the doctor. So this is the situation that you have to meet the doctor. And if it is always great, it is always 35 to 45, then we call it as regularly irregular. That is, every time she gets some menses at 35 to 45 days, then no need to worry. So you have to have a regularity in your menses. That's what we wanted to tell you. And what are the reasons? Every time the menses is irregular, you should not think that I have polycystic ovaries. There is Pcos. Some girls tell me as Pcos, some girls tell polycystic ovaries. They themselves diagnose and come to us. So it is not like that. It can be menstrual irregularity. It can be because of thyroid disorder. And I had a girl in my clinic yesterday. She told me that I don't have thyroid problem, ma'am. How do you know that? I don't have a swelling in my neck. So thyroid disorder need not present as a swelling in the neck. It is a blood parameter. It is checked in the blood. If the values of thyroid is high or low, then only we can diagnose whether thyroid is present or not. It is not by the swelling in the neck. And if you're stressed out, you have a big exam to pass and you are a last minute worker, you wanted to work hard on the last month, maybe high stress level is causing it. And I hope nobody drinks here. So excessive drinking in the European countries is a major cause. Here, over exercising. You want to suddenly you started over exercising your body. You started training for marathon. You are dancing for culturals. Then you can have a menstrual irregularities. Or you wanted to be super thin and super like a model, and you want stop eating properly. Then also you can have a irregular menstruation. So passive smoking, you are in an environment where your family member or somebody is smoking, then this can also cause a irregular menstruation. And the most important thing that you have to note down is, if the menstruation is very irregular, kindly note that and then tell to your mom and tell to your family health doctor and just have a pay a visit to her. She's going to just do a basic workup and tell you whether everything is fine or you need to do something. So don't get worried about meeting a doctor, and don't get worried about telling to your mother. And if there is a irregular menses, you should meet. And then if there is a painful menstruation, there is a condition called endometriosis, where the ovary, I think everybody knows that there is a uterus and there is at the sides of it there is a tubes, and then you have the ovary. In the ovary, the menstrual blood can collect and we call it as chocolate cyst or endometrial cyst. This presents with a painful menses. Of 100 people, if you take 100 girls who are having painful menstruation, 10 to 20% might have endometriosis. 80% of patients might have a normal menstrual pain. But only when the pain is very severe and is not tolerable, then you can just get a scan done and then rule out any ovarian cyst. And the bleeding is very less. The flow usually should be 2 to 7 days. It should not be more than 7 days, and it should not be less than 2 days. If it is less or if it is very high flow, you have to meet the doctor. And if the clots are, and if you're soaking 3 pads in 3 hours, then also you have to meet the doctor. And if it is definitely more than 90 days, don't miss seeing the doctor. There can be some problem which has to be sorted out very fast. Short cycles. This is one of the common problem nowadays we see, not to panic or not to make you worry. But if you have a very short cycle, maybe there is a rare possibility where eggs are getting exhausted faster. Nowadays, we see girls aging faster. They look very young even at 40 years. Even at 40, 42, with the latest trend of lifestyle and the latest look that they have, they straighten the hair, they put all the makeup, and we don't know what the age by looking at the patient. But when looking at the eggs, we are able to say what is the age. We see that the aging of ovary is happening faster. It's basically because the menstruation is also happening faster. The girls attain menarche usually by 15 years, before 10 to 15 years. Now they're attaining menarche at even 11 years, 10 years. So, by the way, the aging usually we call advanced maternal age. The ideal age to get pregnant is 22 to 28. So we also tell the girls nowadays, previously we used to tell 35, above 35 years advanced age to get pregnancy. But now we have to tell that as 32. We are advancing our age, 32, we call it as advanced maternal age in the fertility forum. This is to tell you that if you have a cycle issue, consult the doctor. We are not going to give you lump sum of tablets to take every day. We are just going to tell you what you can do to your best to improve it. What is the cause for this? Whether it can be stopped at that time. So, and then painful menses. Sometimes kids come to during the school or college, girls come with the diarrhea, vomiting, they faint, and then they come. Sometimes there can be small cysts or small problems which can be corrected very well. So your mother or your grandmother might be telling that once you get pregnant, you get all right. Once you get married, you get all right. But sometimes you have to get a checkup done with a nearby lady doctor, just a scan to know whether everything is fine. It's an era of scientific data. So we cannot just touch the tummy or catch the pulse as we see in the movies and tell that you have got a problem, you have no problem. So we have to do a test and we have to see whether really the problem is there or really the problem is not there. And nowadays, medicine, as I mentioned in my first line of the talk, preventive medicine. We are practicing now preventive medicine. So we give you all vitamins and help lifestyle adjustments in even in our protocol of treatment here, where we see only maternity and fertility as a major, only small population of that is unmarried girls I see. Everybody gets a diet counseling and everybody gets a fitness lifestyle change counseling whenever they come. So it's very important that you some certain diet modification, natural remedies that you can have for everything. Whenever you have painful menses, you have to start doing your physical exercises or yoga at the next cycle onwards at least. Sometimes yoga therapy and breathing exercises and meditation can have you a very 50% to 70% reduction in the pain score of during menstruation. Another important thing during the menstruation that you can have is you can have hot bags over the tummy. That can also, the warmth over the tummy can help you to reduce the menstrual pain that is happening. Another thing that you can do is during menstruation, try to reduce your work. We can see nowadays advertisements that the girls are flying, jumping with the whispers, and they wanted to show that the girl can be everything normal if she is using a particular pad. But that is not the scenario. I think we have to take little bit of rest. You need not be lying down on the couch taking leave from the college, but you can do, if you are a football player or if you are a volleyball player, you can restrict the activity on those days so that the uterus also gets rest. More and more physical activity during menstruation might cause your symptoms to be more aggressive, but the physical activity and exercises in between the menstruation is definitely going to reduce the menstrual pain. And having lots of fruits and vegetables with the vitamin E and soya proteins can help you to reduce the menstrual pain. Menstrual hygiene. I think everybody nowadays follows only sanitary pads, and I'm very sure you're all very clean. There are some doubts about menstrual cups. Usually, it is not very comfortable for unmarried girls. But if you are a swimming champion, or if you are already used to it, you can continue using menstrual cups. It's also very safe. But if you are using sanitary napkins, don't get worried about changing it in the college or changing it in the outside places. Kindly change it every 4 to 6 hours. And even if it is not soaked, kindly change it in 6 to 8 hours. And I can see sometimes girls are very not responsible in disposing the sanitary pads in a proper way. We are also should be socially responsible. So kindly dispose the sanitary pads in a proper way so that it doesn't get spilled everywhere. And wash your undergarments by yourself every day. I can see I had gone for inspection of some hostels. I can see girls are really sometimes very much not able to maintain their cleanliness in the rooms very well. Soon you're going to be a caretaker of the entire family. As your vice principal told, you're going to, the health of the female determines the health of the family. So clean your garments very well and every day wash your undergarments by yourself. And this all helps you to have a long-term health and you can carry forward it to your family too. And then I have already told about the menstrual cycle. If you have doubts about it, kindly post it in the chat box. We'll have a discussion. I thought I can take a question here, but I think we have to know it. She's a girl who is having polycystic ovaries. So this is all the beard that she has developed due to the hormone changes. Don't get worried, it is not very common. But you know, she accepted it and she told, I have a problem, but this is not going to affect my health. So I'm going to boldly face it. That's how we should be. Even if there is a problem, accept the problem and try to solve it and become a more responsible person for the society. The society is giving us so many things from childhood. So we should also, after this year, after your education, your society has given you so much till now. So after that, we have to give so much to people around us. It can be just a small help or a advice or a domestic help or educational help or a monetary help, but do help others. That gives you immense happiness and self-satisfaction. And polycystic ovaries. I just wanted to tell you, polycystic ovaries is not like a big swelling in the ovary. It's a small ovary. Normally, there are 2 ovaries in the female. So the ovaries, usually each ovary should have 8 to 10 eggs. If the eggs are more than 10, each side it is 30-30, then we call it as polycystic ovaries. In this, what happens? If in a small door, usually 1 or 2 people can go at a time. But if there are 10 people squeezing through the same door, nobody can go out. That's what happens in PCOS. So what happens? There are 8 to 10 eggs, then 1 egg grows and then matures and comes out. But if there are 20 or 25 eggs on each ovary, nothing comes out. So if nothing, the ovary is not releasing egg, the menstruation also doesn't happen. So this is the difference. You can see here, this is the normal ovary. You can see 8 to 7 eggs. Here, this is the PCOS, where you can see, like, we call it as pearl of chain appearance. So it's like a pearls around your neck. So it is so much of follicles are there. So nothing gets released. Only with the egg get released, then the hormone changes happen and the menstruation happens. Because the egg is not getting released, the menstruation also doesn't happen. I'm not going into the deep depth of it, but it is as high as 30%. 30% of women have PCOS. Is it only PCOS? It's only a problem of ovary? No, it is a problem of pancreas. It is a problem of fat cells, uterus, and heart. It affects everything. So, should be scared about it? No, it is a controllable disease. It's like anemia or a diabetes. Anemia, I think everybody knows what is anemia. Anemia is a hemoglobin deficiency. So, PCOS is also a health where insulin resistance happens and androgen is in excess. There is a resistance to a hormone and the excess of a hormone. So it can be controlled. Though sometimes they ask me, it cannot be cured, doctor. Can I not take off the PCOS from my ovary? It is the tendency of ovary. It is excess of hormone. If you do a physical exercise and lifestyle management, there are lots of natural remedies that can help you to reduce the PCOS and become normal. Don't get depressed. If PCOS, what is the problem is sometimes they try hard to reduce their weight, try hard to reduce everything, but it doesn't go out of their body. So they get stressed and depressed. But if you have a particular regular way of doing certain things, it definitely gets reduced lifelong, and you can be avoiding obesity, cardiac problems, depression, anxiety, and even uterine cancer, which is the last and most serious complication. So how common it is, I've already told you. So it is very common in India. So rice triggers polycystic ovary is another consensus which has been put up in the papers. So we are all rice eaters. The Asian females have more prone for PCOS. That's what the survey tells. So you have to include millets. You have to include a variety of carbohydrate or cereals into your diet. This is what the ultimate aim of the slide is. So what is that? You usually have whether I am having PCOS or not. You can check by yourself. That is, if the menses is more than 35 days and it doesn't come without a medication help, then it is irregular periods, or usually it is 35 to 45 days. And don't get worried to tell to your family members. Be bold and tell my irregular menses is happening. So let me sort it out. And on an ultrasound, if there is a polycystic ovaries, then also be diagnosed. And if there is a increased male hormones in the blood, or sometimes you can see the upper lip and the chin, there are lots of hairs which are growing. You have to go regularly to the parlor to take it out. So if there is there, or so much of acne is there, then you can think whether PCOS is there, and you don't get panicked and go and meet the doctor if you have any of one symptom. If you have 2 symptoms of the 3, then you might be having PCOS. What is the cause? Why did I get PCOS? That's the most common question the mothers come and ask me. It can be genetic, or it can be from a father, sister. Sometimes the uncle or auntie of the family might be having the problem. So it can be through the mother or sister, or it can be from the mother or your sister, elder sister, and it is excess of hormone and insulin resistance. So I have already told you it's too much going into the metabolism. I don't want to know about, tell you in detail about it, but how you will know whether your auntie is having PCOD or not is she is having lots of acne, she grows excess hair all over the body, she has irregular menses, diabetes, hypertension, and you can see some girls will have a glistening black color discoloration in the neck. That is called acanthosis nigricans. If you have a glistening black color discoloration in the neck, this is the excess fat tissue which is getting accumulated, and this goes away if you correct your PCOS, and you can always become normal. So don't think it is going to be permanent. And many think that PCOD is only a problem of obesity. It is a problem of obesity, but there are some lean PCOS patients. They are thin, but due to genetic reasons or lifestyle reasons, they do have PCOD. Now look at this. So I think everybody thinks, who is having PCOS? Now everybody will know that the fat girl has a PCOS. But medicine is full of unknown things. So sometimes thin girls do have PCOS, and obese girls don't have PCOS. So lean PCOS is 30% of women do have lean PCOS. This is mostly genetic, but you don't get worried and depressed that I'm already thin, still I have PCOS. What else I can do? Just a regular exercise and a very healthy diet will reduce your PCOD. We always tell a triangular relationship for PCOD control. One is diet, exercise, and a minimal support by the doctors, minimal drugs, that non-hormonal drugs can be taken, particularly if you're not married and you're not planning for a baby now, then you need not go for a higher treatments. You can just go for a milder treatments. If you ask the doctor, they are going to help you out. So let's go from myths to misses, how they present. This is how they present. They present with acne, increased facial hair, obesity, and irregular periods. This is, if you have any of this, kindly go and meet the doctor. And from it usually comes between 15 to 20 years. And don't get worried that you're having a mustache, you are having a beard, so you have to somebody is bullying you. Don't get worried about it. And we feel that it is normal. You have to be very confident and tell that, yeah, this is what me. So you have to be bold and self-conscious. If you've done something wrong due to your own activity, then you can feel shamed about it. But this has happened over the genetically or due to a lifestyle that has happened from childhood, then you need not get ashamed of it. You have to get corrected out of it. So coming to misses, usually they have infertility. That's a major problem, but not everybody has a infertility. And I feel girls many times comes and tells us in front of the husband or husband family that I have menses regular before marriage, doctor, but after marriage it's become irregular. So you feel that it is a taboo. If I tell it to my in-laws or to the husband that I have irregular menses, they are going to get worried about it. If you have a boy child in future, you should be also knowing that it is not a big disease to have for your daughter-in-law. That's how the responsibility happens. So it is a normal thing. If you have a big issue like epilepsy or a major issue like sexually transmitted diseases or some problem which is you're hiding it from a surgery which you're hiding it from the husband, then it's really wrong. But if it is an irregular menstruation, which is a normal thing which can happen, you need not get worried and be bold to face your in-laws and husband and tell it openly that I had irregular menses. I'm correcting it. I'm doing a lifestyle management. What can I do about it? You have to talk it openly so that you need not hide anything from your own partner. You should be talking to them freely and making sure they are going to be the best partner for your life. So long-term health risk is not only the menstrual irregularities, acne, the hair that grows on the face, and the infertility. The long-term health risk which we are worried for is diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, sometimes depression, uterine cancer. I feel that some girls tell me, then I tell them, just start doing exercises. Whatever, enna pannalu koreyadu doctor. I'm eating very less and I do lots of activity despite that I'm obese. So don't think and satisfy yourself. Satisfaction is the enemy for success. I always feel that. So whenever you say this term, know that body cannot gain weight without eating. So if you have assessed your hormone status and everything is right, if you have PCOS, maybe your weight reduction might not be a steep slope. It can be a slower slope, but definitely when you have a good exercise and a correct eating pattern and a correct sleeping pattern, definitely your efforts to reduce the weight will be warranted with the weight loss. Don't get worried. And if you are going to just eat and ignore the health that you have at present situation, then at 50 years you will be a health burden for your whole family. So if you don't want it to be like that, and I feel that every other, as your VP told, every other young girl should be a dynamic women. They should be active to do their work till the last day of a life in world. So if you had ever had a chance to read the book called Ikigai by Japanese author, so they have told that 1 or 5 years, grandfather and grandmother very active, doing their own work by themselves. Hear it, see it, go and read about these books whenever you get time. Instead of watching Netflix and YouTube, get also some good books and start reading about it. Have a reading habit that will also have a calmness of mind, and you will be able to improve in various fields. And Tamil Nadu or South India or the India is waiting for you girls to make a change in the world. So take it as opportunity and make a change for yourself. And by the way, you're making a change to the other people around you. So I'm not going into the full details of how to conceive, what is the levels that I check. So usually what we do is we do a scan for the girls who come for the irregular menses, and we check the thyroid, sugars if it is there or not, how are the male hormones, how is the AMH. So based on this, we'll come to a solution how the egg level is. There is a beautiful hormone test called AMH. Previously, we didn't have this test. If somebody takes the AMH, they will know that their egg level is low. So we check the AMH, and we check the thyroid, and we check the sugar level, and we check the HCG level, and we check the
Excuse me, ma'am. Is there any issue, ma'am?
Meena, I think she's got some internet problem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll check it, ma'am.
Yeah, you can call her directly and see.
Okay, 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 ma'am. Dear participants, there is a network issue in guest side. Will be resumed within a minute. Sorry for the inconvenience. Dear participants, you can post your questions in the chat box. On behalf of you, I will ask the questions to the doctor. And you can also fill the feedback link at the end of the session so that you can get your e-certificate. Okay, it's a mandatory. Chief guest will be resumed within a minute.
Hello, I'm really sorry for the delay. There was a problem with the net. I think this is a problem with the digital communication. So let me share the video and start it again. You can stop me if the time is up.
Okay, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure. You can share your video.
Yeah, you're able to see?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Pardon?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll also reduce this. Yeah. So, what is the diet and what is how healthy? So
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you view it in a full screen, ma'am?
Yeah, you're able to not see in the full screen?
No, it's off screen, it seems. You can able to make it as a full screen?
For me, it is a full screen. Just I'll see you. I'll share it.
Okay, ma'am. No issues. You can start, ma'am. You can continue.
Yeah. No. You share, no? Yeah, this one screen. Huh?
It's good, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, fine. So let me go. So how we have to do is, first you have to take 2 tumblers of water every day after getting up. You can be a decaf drink, and then every time you have the end of the day, just jot out how many, at least 2 times you have taken vegetables, and 2 cups of 2 servings of fruits you have taken, and 2 servings of some nuts you have taken, and only 2 cups of curd and 2 cups of milk you've taken in a diet. So all this will help you to maintain a good diet that you follow in your in your diet reduction or maintenance protocol. And we'll anyway see how we are going to have a my plate method, and avoid coffee and tea more than 2 cups per day. Avoid fast foods. You make it as weekly once or 15 days once you have a junk foods or a fast food. I cannot tell you to avoid at this age. You might be wanting to have a chart item, but don't have it on an everyday basis. Life has become sometimes the stress buster for COVID or any mishap is only eating. So you can have other habits like dancing or going outing with the friends or having watching a movie. You can have other stress busters than eating also. And so coming to it, I think we will go ahead. So even a modest weight reduction. If you're 100 kg or 90 kgs, we are not asking you to come to your normal BMI. You might be wanting to come to 60 kg. This should be over the course of 1 or 2 years. Never lose weight very fast. It will not be effective. We wanted the lifestyle modification to happen. If you wanted to hit a gym and follow a particular weight loss pattern, you should make sure that you're going to do it lifelong. So instead of that, we usually tell to walk 4 to 5 kilometers per day at this 45 minutes of workout every day or 5 days in a week. If you're able to maintain it, you can do it every time in your life, even after your marriage, after you become 45 or 40, then also you can continue this. So you can do your regular exercise of at least 45 minutes workout every day or 5 days a week. So this is a basic thing that you can follow it every time, and it can be a yoga, it can be walking, it can be a jogging, it can be a dancing. We had one of the girls who was going to the college. She didn't have a father, so she was working from morning, going to the college from morning to evening. Then she has to take a tuition. And how she did the weight reduction? She just did YouTube, seeing YouTube Zumba dancing at home 9 to 10, and she reduced 10 kgs over the span of 3 to 4 months. So it's beautiful. She has found a way out. There cannot be any fixed protocol for everyone. You have to follow your own pattern. And if you want a weight reduction, follow less carbohydrates. If you wanted to increase your weight, you can have little bit more carbohydrates and fat. And less caffeine is good. Don't go for high caffeinated. If you want to have a healthy lifestyle, don't go for
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm able to hear. There was,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah.
No issues, ma'am.
And we can go to the question answers.
Yes, ma'am. If you have to complete your last slide, you can complete and we can go for the Q&A, ma'am.
That's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. You have, can I have a scan screen option?
Yeah, one second, ma'am. One second, ma'am. I have made you as a co-host, ma'am. You can share it. Yes, it's visible, ma'am.
Yeah. So about intermittent fasting, this is just I wanted to tell, this is the best way of dieting than the paleo and forming other high fat diets. So intermittent fasting is a very recommended diet by the doctors. So if you want to follow 12 hours, 12 hours eating and 12 hours not eating, or 18-6, or you can 18-6 is for if you want to reduce 3 kgs per month, then you can go for a 18-6 regimen. Anyway, you should consult a dietitian or a doctor if you're starting a fasting. So I'm anyway letting the slides known to your professor, so they can also have the share the slides, and then you can have an idea how the intermittent fasting works. So, and seed cycling. So every day eating some kind of seeds like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, or chia seeds, all that are very good. And divide your plate. This is the plate that you have to follow if you're going to have a weight reduction. That is, half the plate is with the vegetables, and 1/4 of the plate is with lean proteins, and 1/4 only with the carbohydrates. And lots of water to drink. It can be water, or it can be pudina water or lemon water, that can be helping. If you want to gain weight, reduce, shift the carbohydrates to 1/2 and vegetables to the 1/4. And you should have all the millets, different kinds of fruits, because every color of fruits have a particular vitamin in more content. So have colors in the vegetables, have different colors in the fruits that you have or vegetables that you have. Go and involve yourself in cooking. It's not your mother's job alone. Be a part of cooking in your home. And way of getting good snacks is very, very important. And if you possible, you can avoid soft drinks, not frequently, at least monthly ones you can have, but not frequently. Avoid having the lots of cake shops for all the birthdays. You have a cake nowadays, so you can reduce the eating habit of pastries, and exercise every day. Whichever is making you, don't take it as a burden. Sometimes swimming may be improving your mood. Sometimes it can be the it sorry, sometimes it can be walking, it can be group dancing. So whichever you like, you please do it. And take stairs in your college, and I don't think so there's a lift or not, but take stairs whenever is possible. And try to walk. Don't make walking and exercise as a particular schedule. Try to be active every time. Don't sit in a chair for more than 20 minutes. And you will know how it's working in 6 to 8 weeks. Don't lose your hope in a first week. And removing the excess hair, many times the girls don't want to ask to the parents. They don't want to ask the doctor about it. There is nothing wrong. You can have a parlor. You can go to a parlor and do waxing. But even shaving the hair doesn't cause increase in hair growth. There is a popular myth that if you shave your hair, more hair is going to grow. It is not like that. Even if you shave the hair, nothing is going to happen. So if you have excess facial hair and it's a big burden for you, you can definitely buy a razor and shave it every day. It's not going to help problem. And I think I've told, there are so many good medicines available for PCOS which can be helpful. And just a few minutes about sexually transmitted diseases. I know it's too early to talk about it, but you should be knowing that safe sexual practices, and after having intercourse, after your marriage, you should be washing the private parts after at least half an hour. And there are particular washes which are available. And it is not very you should not be hiding the fact that you have a itching in your private parts. It is very common because there are some secretions and it's a very moist area. Even without a sexual intercourse, even without getting married, you might have a itching, and you can have a white discharge which is not pleasant to you. So you can consult the doctor. If the discharge is gray, or if there is a whitish discharge, if you have a yellowish discharge or a pinkish discharge, you have to consult the doctor. You need not consult for a white discharge which is not harmful to you, which is not itchy. it is not creating any particular stringent order, then you need not meet the doctor. It is normal to have, like we have water from the eyes, you have saliva from the mouth. There is uterus, which secretes certain amount of secretions from the glands, which is there to lubricate the vagina. So, and to maintain a healthy bacterial flora. So, for a vaginal discharge, all the vaginal discharge, you need not meet the doctor. But if it is yellowish or itchy or painful or lots of smell comes, then you can meet the doctor. And I think another one important last slide which I want to tell is cervical cancer. It was the first leading cancer among women. Now it is the second most cancer. The first most cancer is breast. You can understand breast cancer develops very fast, and very sometimes early stages can be missed without palpation, but it's really very easy. Every month after your menses, on the 5th day or the first day, while taking bath, press the palms over your breast and then see whether there is a lump or not. This is the easy way of preventing or identifying breast cancer. Another one, cancer cervix, we cannot see the cervix by ourselves. So we have to address to the doctor. Once you get married, every 3 years once, you have to see whether the cervix is healthy by doing a pap smear. It is a small test which is done by a gynecologist or a general doctor, a lady doctor, but need not be worried about doing the test, but you have to do it every 3 years if you are going and getting after marriage. And before marriage, there is a vaccination which is available. Not all the cancers are preventable. Not all the cancers have a vaccine. Like COVID, which has been prevented so much, and the disease severity has come down with the vaccination. I hope everybody is getting vaccinated or already have done the vaccination. For a cancer cervix, there is a vaccine which is available. So definitely consult your mother, family, and then from 9 to 26 years, you have 3 doses. You are the ideal age group who should get vaccinated. The best time to get vaccinated is even before you attain your menarche. That is the very first method of doing it. But it's okay. At least before marriage, you should get vaccinated. It has 3 doses. First dose, second dose 2 months later, and then 4 months later another dose. So 3 doses of vaccine is very, very good. But we are now giving for even married women who come to us after their first childbirth. We give it up to 45 years. You can get a vaccination for preventing cancer. So let me take the questions. I'm happy to finish it. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. So wonderful presentation, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have a regularly asked question, ma'am. Can I ask now?
Yeah, sure.
Is it safe to use a menstrual cup?
Yeah, it is actually very safe, and if it is comfortable and it is what to tell, if the girls are very comfortable, it is the best method which is available. Because when we take for the personal use, we need not buy every month a big packet of pad, and it is very difficult to carry it. You can have a small bag with 1 or 2 menstrual cups. You can use it for years to gather the menstrual cup, and is easily sterilizable and easily washable. And it is more importantly, the disposing of pads become very disgusting. Sometimes you can see lots of dustbins are filled with the pads which are taken out by the dogs and spilled over all the places. If everybody starts using menstrual cups, then the economy burden is less. But the advertisement for the menstrual cups doesn't happen because the companies doesn't get profit out of it. They get profit by selling the pads rather than the menstrual cups. Once you buy a menstrual cup, you're not going to buy the pads for next 10 years or 9 years. So it has not been advertised much, but we are happy if they are ready to use it and they're comfortable in using it. It's best way of using.
Okay, ma'am. There's a question from a madam, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, your talk was very much informative. Actually, I have got 2 questions. One, you said that rice, that is it was there in the paper, rice triggers PCOS. But over the years, we South Indians are accustomed to eating rice. How come now alone consuming rice paves way for PCOS? Then another question is, smoking leads to painful menstrual cycle. In what way, and how it is leading to painful menstrual cycle? That is, is it meant for only for smoking people, or other people who are staying nearby? Will they be affected?
Yeah, very nicely asked 2 questions. Let me first answer the first question. We had been using rice for a long time. How come now it is getting a problem? A fantastic question. Our ancestors were taking rice for a long time, but they were taking only rice, and then they were taking lots. They were working a lot. That's the first thing. Physical activity was more than what the rice that they had, and it was not a refined product. Now everything is whitish. You want a whitish rice, a white rice, and it was not peeled that much before. It was a brown rice, and I think even my ancestors used to eat kali, ragi kali, vaarathula rendu naal in the morning they used to have kali in the morning, and it is not 3 times a day rice, and having cakes, pastries, everything is included, maida, and the thing is, if I tell a couple, no, that you have to reduce weight, you should eat correctly carbohydrates, and I ask them what did you eat? Morning I had dosa, afternoon I had rice, night I had only tiffin, doctor. What tiffin did you have? Idiyappam I had. So all the 3 times they have had only rice. Rice is not at all bad. Rice is a very good food that we have to have. Only the portion of rice has become more. Even if you have our culture of eating major portion rice and a lesser portion of vegetables was practiced for a long time. Even now I can see, when I go to my village, I can see people eating lots of rice. But the problem is they work from morning to night. They sweat. They do lots of hard activity. Now we are doing very less activity, and you want to eat like that. That is a problem. And don't want. We want to eat like a villager. We also want to eat like a city people. We want to also wear Western clothes and eat Western food. That's a problem. We are eating more than what we require. And rice is definitely, I don't support people who eat oats every day or cornflakes every day. We need not spend or buy other country products. Our own products, same, kudravali, millets of whatever kinds that you have, include that also. If you're making a dosa, make it as a millet dosa. எல்லாமே சேர்த்து போட்டு தோசையில சாப்பிட்டோம்னா it is better, because you get that protein also and this protein also. Eating more amount of rice, because carbohydrates portion எவ்வளோ ஜாஸ்தியா சாப்பிடுறோமோ அவ்வளோ வந்து நம்மளுக்கு carbohydrates, glycemic index, insulin resistance improves. So carbohydrates is more, glycemic index is more, the insulin resistance is already there, which is getting aggravated, and they gain weight. That's a metabolism one. And you eat 1 cup of millets, and you eat 1 cup of rice. Both are having same amount, like 500 grams or 200. But the glycemic index no ஒரு கான்செப்ட் சொல்லுவோம். அதாவது 1 cup rice சாப்பிட்டதுக்கு அப்புறம் எவ்வளவு சுகர் ஏறுது, 1 cup millet சாப்பிட்டோனே எவ்வளவு சுகர் ஏறுது. இது வந்து this happens in 1 hour time. The sugar in rice peaks up, but in the millets it gets slowly digested. So slowly the sugar gets released, though they have the same calorie content. This may be releasing 200 calories, this may be releasing 200 calories, but how long you release it? So only we tell macros. There's a concept called carbohydrates la macros சாப்பிடணும். So you have to eat brown rice or அருப்பு கவனி rice ன்னு சொல்றாங்க இப்ப நிறைய. Now everybody has started eating different kinds of rice. So rice which is not peeled and is not very white in color is very good, because the content of the carbohydrates, the plain carbohydrates, is less. That's the first concept. The second concept is, it is not only the smoking, even the pollution that we are exposed to. If you are a traffic police, a lady traffic police, definitely she has a higher risk. It's pollution which is caused. Passive smoking is a leading cause of cancer. So it is not only that you smoke it. If you're standing by the person who is smoking, or if your house is situated near a tea shop where everybody smokes always, then it is really a pathetic situation, because ultimately carbon monoxide goes inside. And PCOD or a painful menstruation is not directly 1-to-1 cause and the effect. It is multifactorial. Whenever there is an increased amount of these pollutants in the body, what happened? The oxidative stress, the oxidative radicals, free radicals, gets accumulated. This causes more, in not only painful menstruation, this also causes fatigability, sleeplessness, increase in weight, more depression. All this is a multifactorial. There is no single cause of it, but If you are, this is also a very important effect. There was a big conference which happened 2 years before. I was directly there in Europe, and they were having a presentation. And you know what was the research topic of that girl? She has studied how many mothers have used always shampoo and artificial scents and creams while they were pregnant, and how much they've inhaled these scents and creams and shampoos, and how the babies are affected. This was a very long-term study that they've done, and they've told that. So whenever a pregnant patient asks me, when I can go to a parlor and do some bleaching or do some activity, we tell them you should not inhale most of chemicals. You should not be inhaling the chemicals more than the direct absorbing effects that you inhale. If you use very high scents, natural scents like wearing a flower or applying a oil on your badam oil or anything on your hand is good. But if you wear perfumes all the time, anyway, touch wood, because we are doctors, we are not allowed to wear perfumes. So we never wear perfumes. But I can see girls coming with a very high scented perfumes. But if you wear perfumes every day to your office and you're always wearing perfumes, then this is also a risk factor for cancer. So any strong artificial odor is a risk factor for any adverse effects. It's not only painful menstruation, but for painful menstruation, out of the 20 causes, this is also one of the causes.
Thank you, Doctor. It has been a wonderful presentation, Doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have come to the end of the session. Madhumita, you can continue.
Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely going to encourage us in a future event. Thank you, ma'am. We are now at the end of this auspicious day. To give a perfect end to the session, now I request Ms. Subhasri, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, to deliver out of time.
Good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of IQAC and Women's Cell, Untitled Arts and Science College, first of all, I would like to thank our chairman, Dr. N.R. Danapalan sir, our secretary, Mr. N.R.D. Prem Kumar sir, joint secretary, Dr. P.E.R. Premchand sir, our principal, Dr. Inita Lebanon Ebensi ma'am, and vice principal, Ms. Tapia Solomon ma'am, for the constant support and guidance. I extend my gratitude to our honorable chief guest, Dr. Aruna Ashok, MS ONG, DNB ONG, fertility consultant, clinical director of A4 Fertility Center and Hospital, to take our time from a busy schedule to grace this event. Thank you, ma'am, for your excellent speech. I would like to thank our Women's Health Coordinator, Ms. Meena ma'am, and also would like to thank the HODs and staff members and my dear students for your participation in this webinar. Last but not least, I would like to thank our technical team, Mr. Yuvane sir, Mr. Abhila sir, and Mr. Loganathan sir for the constant support. Once again, thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.